Welcome to Cities Skylines campus, and in the previous video we reached a pretty key milestone. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but first I'm going to address a couple of your comments, guys. And because the biggest one is that yes, I do tend to flash around the map a lot. I will try and minimize it, but one of the things about Cities Skylines is that you do tend to want to move around a lot as the city grows, especially during the early stages of the game. Let's see, I'm already doing it here because I'm looking at various things, just trying to check markers. And this is one of the hazards of the game, but I'll try and keep things as stable as possible as we go forward. And the second question is, I've been asked, I think it's by Iceman, whether I'm using any mods. And the answer is no, I'm not using any mods at all at the moment, simply because whenever a new DLC comes out in Cities Skylines, the first playthrough, I always like to play in vanilla mode just to get a feel for what they've done with the game in base mode. And then what I tend to do is I add mods as and when I have a need for them. Is probably the best way to explain it. Anyway, so let's just get down to business. And the first thing I want to talk about is that, as I said, at the end of the previous video we reached Big Town, which is 7,000. Now this is a key milestone when you're building a city from scratch. And that is the fact that once you get to 7,000, you get access to the new high density residential, commercial and office zones. That allows you to shift the dynamic of the game. And the other thing also is that, I don't know if I can, it actually tells you was unlocked, but it seems that we might get an unlock with our universities. I'm just having a look through. Yeah, we've now got trade school campus, so that makes this milestone even more important. But first, what we got to do is, you can see the city's developing a few problems, and what I want to do now is start to improve the population, improve my commercial, but at the same time I don't want to lay out new areas. So what we're going to do, well, the first thing we're going to do is increase the taxes on the new high density areas like that. And then the next thing I want to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to start to rezone. But what you need to do is don't rezone in a wholesale way. What you need to do is remove an area like that so that people move out, and then put a new area in like that. What will happen is people will move out, you will lose population. This is why you don't do it wholesale. You do it in a very gentle, progressive way. And you can do the same. My instinct with commercial is to maybe not upgrade the commercial at the moment, but to come out here. I'm just going to add a whole new zone like this. Just keep it grid-like for the moment. And then what we will do is put in a high density zone across the back here. Like that. I'm just going to keep that area open. And we've got a little bit more, but what I will do up here is I will rezone some high density in this area. This is going to irritate me, but never mind. I'm just going to... And the other thing I want to do now is that we don't have any demand for industrial, but what I'm going to do is start to put in a little bit of office space there. Now with the office specialization, you don't want to go overboard, guys, because what will happen is that these will pull away a lot of your educated people, and then that may cause you a long-term problem. I just want to check high school. Yeah, so we're okay there. Whoops. So we're looking good. And what I'm thinking is maybe having our first trade school university complex over here. I want to leave this area open for expansion to the city. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is we've still got quite a lot of demand. So, and this is a relatively new area. So I think if I take out that, oops, no. And if we come out, I think if we come out like that, and then if I come across like that, and what we're going to, yeah. Just take advantage of the situation in like that. Actually, just put a road across like that. And then can do is just whack in a footpath. That off. I put the footpaths in first, and one of the key elements of this milestone is that you can actually sit back and relax a bit, because really and truthfully, if you get to a population of 7,000, putting that high density there, what we will do is a little bit of high density there, come across. Maybe the key factor is if you want is blocks of 6 or 8, and then that will give you an optimal build here. That should now start to expand and grow out like that. You can see this is a through road, so we can just drop that in like that. I don't want to get too close to there. In fact, what I'm going to do is to act as a marker. We're just going to put in a little bit of office there, just to keep the drive, and you can see what's happening now up over here. These are building up, but they start at the bottom again, so this is where you've got to be a bit careful. This is one other reason why you just don't change these in a wholesale sense. You just need to start absorbing up this extra demand for residential, but without pushing too hard. It's like we're sucking up some of the commercial over here, which is looking good. And we've got a few problems with abandoned buildings here. Now there is a mod which allows you to auto abandoned buildings, but I mean, to be honest, I just prefer to delete them manually, because it means that I can keep track on what is actually required. We've got a bit of a flat area here. I mean, now I haven't built a university, so I've got no idea what the space requirements for a university building is. In fact, I've got no idea. Office specialization, arrays campus area, paint campus area, and raise industrial. Okay, so I think what we will do, I mean, will this overlap? No, it won't overlap an industrial area. So these are mutually exclusive, which is understandable. I don't think it's a big problem. What we'll do is we'll paint in a campus area here, like this. Maybe we'll just come down like this, just to fill this area in. Now I'm assuming that I'm going to need some kind of road running in this way. I think, well, I want to break away from the grid, so we put a road in like that, just to maybe, I don't want to put in too much in the way of roads. I think maybe if we come in like that, or something like that. New building, what have we got here? Oh, looks like we've opened up my favourite, which is the metro, but that's beside the point. What we got here? Aquatic Centre. This trade school administration. This is 30,000. We've got plenty of cash, so we've got to put in an administration building first. Maybe we'll just drop that in there. Also, you can see that's had an immediate impact on my city. It's really good. We've got here, not enough electricity. Thank you, game. Now, from an electricity point of view, but what we could do, rather than just put in here, let's have a quick look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bridge that with a park. That should do it. Yeah, that will give me a link in there. Of course, we won't have any water as well, so I'm sure the game will complain. I've got the snapping on. That snap doesn't feel, yeah. We can just put that through, cover the campus. So we've now got our campus here. And what we got here, Victoria Career Institute. Academic year, reputation level unrecognised. Well, let's understand tuition fees, expenses. It's costing us 160. Time, policies. Student healthcare, 3 lunches. Academic works. You can give 50,000 to a research grant. Okay, let's funding granting for artisanry. I think that's but basically artisans. We give them a bit of a pay rise. Okay, let's just let that run. As I say, I haven't done anything with universities at the moment, so this is going to be very much a shared voyage of exploration. Really do with some more residential. I'm not really picking up the flow with the residential at the moment, which is unusual. I think the game seems to be a bit reluctant to actually indulge me. And what I am going to do is I'm just going to drop a sauna in there just to push the whole process a little bit. I do want to improve the population density here because my farming out here isn't doing as well. Wow, we got massive demand, so let's start getting a bit more serious here, guys. And what I'm going to do is leave a little bit of, I leave the low density there because there's no point having high density blocks, and that's got too close. Take that out. I want a sound barrier here. I think what we can do is when I could push out some high density this way. Yeah, I think maybe we're gonna have to drive the city a little bit harder. It's not, doesn't seem to be evolving like it would normally do. Let me just take out some of that area there. This is going to be right next to the high school as well, so that should be good. And we've got water coverage there as well. So, and you can see we're losing a bit of population, but that will come back. And what we got here with the unlock trade school dormitory. Dormitory for residential building for students. Okay. Where would you put a dormitory? Dormitories. Oh, they're not that big. Oops. I mean, my instinct would be to. We get 2. Yeah, we get. No, it won't. The space already occupied. Oh no, it's okay. So if we get. We put 3 in there. Because that would be close to the services and resources here for people that are going to come. Now the question is, will these count towards the population? The students here, dormitory residential building. I don't want to spend too much money. What we got here? Trade school study hall, trade school groundskeeper, book club. Okay. I suppose we would need a study hall. I want to keep this initial university fairly close in. I don't want it to look like a bit like a garden university. I mean, a trade school would be something that would be pretty compact within an urban environment. It wouldn't be things. So I don't know, what's the groundskeeper do? To book club. Okay. Oh, this is nice and small, so I think we can slip that in maybe in this area here. Because I'm not sure whether you can expand outwards and combine universities, or whether you've got to zone separate areas for universities. So I think that's about enough on the university itself. Let's see how we're doing here. So campus attractiveness 200. Well, so I've done that. It's cost me 2,000. I don't know if that's a month or yeah. So that's doing okay. Policies, free lunch, Veracity Sports. Apologies for any of you guys who live in America. I'm not exactly too sure what Veracity Sports are, but we got a fire here actually. Yeah, we got the fire brigades on here. It looks like it's spread a little bit, which is a little bit of a concern because it's right next to my public library. But it looks like the fire brigade are on the case. To be honest, the other thing that's slightly irritating me a little bit is the rain. You can see now that I had that massive demand for residential, but it didn't take much to pull it back. Now I've got demand for commercial, and I'm trying to think where we go. Well, I don't need that power line now. What we can do is just stick out the power line there, and we've got a power line. So we've now got the flow of power through there. And we can probably take out all these power lines now. Just tidy the city up a little bit. I think what we're going to do is we've got this is the geothermal area here. I'm not sure. What I'm going to do is put out a double zone there of what we're going to do is stick in a bit of high density here and put a little bit of density there. Make sure we got the water coverage. Not quite, just going to color that out there. Now that's that up and running. Our university is growing quite steadily, getting a little bit more demand for residential. So what we're going to do is dezone another area here and zone in that area there. And the other thing I want to do is to dezone these areas. When I put these areas in, that was to drive my initial city. What I want to do is empty this out here. What is that there? That's a residence. And I want to leave this area open a little bit more to give me a bit more control. Facility full. So now we got a little bit of a problem with garbage. So let me just check. Yeah, garbage processing status. So we need to... Where's the garbage processing? Is that? Okay. There it's garbage and industry. Right, we've now got an incineration plant. So now where are we going to put the incineration plant? My instinct is we're going to put it over here. And what we're going to do is set this to empty the facility. And what I would like to do, we don't want to put it up here because we've got a water intake. But really, ideally, I would like another garbage intake to give me a bit of coverage. I mean, we've got recycling over here as well. I mean, just see how the garbage settles down. So we're still too low. Maybe, I mean, could I be cheeky? I mean, what's the pollution with the recycling plant? Garbage truck 15. I mean, when it's got noise pollution, I think what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to this road here. Right, I'm just going to pause. I'm going to do, I mean, how much money have I got? I've got 118,000. What I'd like to do is cross the river. And we got a road here we can cross the river with. Somebody actually passed a comment about the rocks. And yeah, I do like the rocks in the long term. But when I'm actually laying out the city to start with, I tend to be a bit merciless about the cosmetic stuff on the map. Yeah. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to pause. Because what I want to do is break this power line. Here. Like that. And then we're going to drop I want is a roundabout in about here. Got that road there. So that would come round. What I'm thinking is a roundabout about there. It's going to, and actually if we opened up the highways, Yeah, we've opened up the highways as well. Good. Not that I'm really going to need a highway over here. I'm just going to cook that up. That's going to come in like that. Now this is where this is going to get a little bit tricky. What I want is for this, I think we'll go freestyle. Oh, go away, stop that. What we're going to do is go a little bit freestyle here. That distorted. Putting that in like that. I'm going to do it this way, then I'll fix the direction afterwards. And just trying to think of, yeah. You can strike off. Oh heck. I think we're going to have to risk it and just knock that one off so that I can get a connection like that. And I've done it the wrong way. So you're coming in that way, and I'm going to flip that the opposite way like that. And you're just going to come around like that. That connects that up. And then what that will do is allow me to put a type of road what I want here. Yeah, I think we can just strike off the normal road here straight. Is there anything? There's not going to be much up that way, is there? So yeah, I think we can just have a normal road out like that, and then going to have a little bit of a problem. I don't know, but we should be okay. And then what I can do off this direction, just put this in for completeness. Yeah, that's going to cost me, just for the moment. I'm just gonna, it's not going to. Okay, we're going to have to come across like that. And then the question is, how much is this going to cost me? It's going to cost me 5,000. And then we go back the other way. No. Question is, will that connect? Come over like that. And now the fun's going to be, that will connect with that. That will connect with that. And we'll reverse that direction there. And that direction there. That will give me the road that will take me across to there. I'm just going to stick that out. And we can then upgrade this. Although I'm very tempted to upgrade this immediately. Because this is going to be a fairly busy roundabout. I'm just gonna, and what I'm gonna do then is, after all that, we're gonna finally put the garbage collection there like that. Of course, what we're gonna have to do is put the power back in so that when I start the game back up again like that, that will make sure that my water intake will be still working. So what I'm thinking, guys, is we've got this over here. We can build a small town or village over here, which will then, I suppose we could set up a forestry area here. That would make sense with all the pollution running down the road river there. The other thing I would like to do is maybe have another road connection there. Let's just have a look at We've got a rail connection there. It would be really great to bring rail in very early in the game, because that would take off some of the pressure on this connection. Now, what I'm going to do is, I mean, I could open up that one, and then that would give me a highway link into here. Then we could come back and unlock that one. I think I'm going to leave it for the moment, just to see how we can develop the city. Because eventually I would want the city to move out and take over this entire highway here. We now got that there, so this is now running. The city's settled down a little bit. I've spent quite a lot of cash. I've got a feeling I'm going to turn dynamic weather off, because this constant rain is annoying me. So I'll just be right back, guys. Turn the dynamic weather off. I can always switch it back on again once I've had enough of the pleasant sunshine. But having constant rain all the time will start to irritate the heck out of me. Now we've got a little bit of a problem here. And my instinct now is to start getting the metro in. Let me just see. Yeah, we got the metro run here. But metro is very expensive and I don't really have the money. And what we're going to do is just let the game run, build up. You can see we're getting a little bit of traffic density here, which I need. Yep, I'm getting a lot of traffic through here. This is another reason why I was hoping. I think we need to pull the traffic away from there. I am going to buy that tile. What we can do is put another road junction out here, bring a highway link into here, and that will take some of the pressure off this junction here. I mean, I can always upgrade it now as well. We've got a few. Let's knock those out. I don't want them. Still got a bit more demand for. You can actually see the colours of the buildings now. It's quite interesting, the difference between those and those. I wonder if that's because. Let me just check the zoning. Sorry. What happened there? Back to ordinary zoning. Yeah, the reason the buildings have changed is because these are normal buildings. These are the environmentally friendly buildings. I think we're just going to leave that area there because I think that's a little bit of a contrast, isn't it? I mean, I actually quite like that. And of course here, actually let's just push this. Oops, no. What's causing that? I don't want to raise a district, I want to add to the district. Yeah, I've just destabilized my city by accident. This is one of the hazards that you can encounter, guys, is that if you do things like this, there will be a consequence. You can see I'm now losing 200 and odd people. That's because I've changed the structure and the people are moving out of here and back. This is one of the problems that you do get, but it should settle down. The thing is not to panic and just let the city run and it will settle down. Let's just have a quick check of my university. Total academic works created. Got no idea. Academic work creation chance 32%. Policies. So we're getting a few students in. We've got no academics at the moment. So I'm assuming that we've got to get academics to improve our standing. Still a little bit worried about this commercial. Let's just check the zoning again. Yeah, the zoning's good. My instinct is to get a metro line in. Where could we put? I mean, we could pull a metro line in from the university through the city, just to get that going. Right, these are going to be. And we could put. I mean, let's get the first metro station in. It makes sense to put one up here, and we'll put one. I mean, we could come down this side of the map. Now the problem with metros is if I plonk one in the center like that, what you see is the noise around it. Right, this one's I think if we put a metro in about there, we can sneak another one. I mean, that would be a good place to put one, because people living here would then come that way. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to get another one. What I'm trying to do is orientate it a little bit. If we get, they're a bit close together, people will walk the metro lines. I think if we do that and then put another one, say, up about there, and maybe we can put one. Well, people would walk to that one and walk to that one. So now the trouble is, this is in the wrong place, and this is where having mods actually helps, because I could have used the move it mod to do that, but as the rules of what I was saying is that yeah, I think if I put that there, and what I'm going to do is it would only build alongside a road. So what we're going to do is bring this out like that. Whoops, this is one-way roads. I don't want one-way roads. I want take that away. I'm just going to come right out like that, and that like that. We get back into the metro, and what we'll do is we'll put a metro there. And when I'm laying out metros, I don't worry about the aesthetic. I just go straight from one to the other like this. And we're doing 33,000. Getting a bit tight for cash here, so I think we'll get away with it, guys. This will make a big difference once the routes go in. And what we will do is create a what? 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 You gotta be kidding me! What? What? Have I got disaster switched on?
Strike has occurred. Avoid the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
Okay. I know this is a new install, but I wasn't aware that my disasters were switched on. Okay. I think we're okay with the fires contained over there. Well, I'm getting a bit of flooding. I haven't put in any disaster protection. That means I'm going to have a bit of a problem here if this water reaches this area. I'll just speed up and just hopefully... I mean, I've got no pumping stations. I've got no disaster shelters. I was very lucky to get away with that, actually, to be honest. And my lovely forest that I was going to build some forestry on is going there. Yeah, it looks like I've got away with it. Okay, back to putting my... You're going to go that way. And when you put metros in, you always want to have a circular run around like that. Like that. Which one's the metro? Public transport, that's not it. Okay. Which one's the metro now then? There's the metro line. And what we'll do is we'll make that nice and red. That nice and kind of give it an orangey colour. And you can see what will happen is now that people will flow round the city, getting massive demand for residential. So what I want to do now is just keep the theme going. So wait, go away. And again, what I'm going to do is de-zone along the front here, because eventually we will probably want to put a highway in here. In fact, I think what we're going to do is we're going to push this the boundary a little bit now, and take that area there. So that will grow. What we got here? We've got an elementary school. I think we're going to have to move that elementary school. So what's the education like at the moment? Elementary school, we desperately need another elementary school. So elementary, I think what we can do is we'll shoot in an elementary up here, and I need to get water and power to that. Oops, that's gone a bit wonky. That's going to annoy me. That line in like that. Now I could just power this up with power cables, but I think what we're going to do is no one's going to want to live near here. So what we're going to do is take a road in like that, that road in like that, and then we're going to put a small park there. And how's the fire coverage? Yeah, so it's time to, we can now put in a fire station there. And what we also need is something that will make everyone a little bit more happier. Where's the cemeteries? We've got a cemetery there, and we've got power problems. Pause. We just check the power. Our power's dropped. Let's check the budget for power. Yeah, okay, we've got power issues. And what I'm going to do is temporarily, we don't have the money, or do we have the money for? No. We need 65,000. What we're going to have to do is take a loan out. I've pushed my luck too much here. Amount 20,000. We're going to have to take out this one, 60,000. And what we're going to have to do is get in another. I think we're just rack up the. We've got disaster switched on, so we need to spread the risk a little bit. That's right on the edge of the water. I think what we're going to do is put a second one over here. Like that should settle things down. Yep. We've got the power up and running. And the water should solve itself as well. As far as I know, I don't have a budget. But we can push up the water a little bit. Just to make sure, yeah, water's good. And let's just finish off this little area here. So we got what you need to be filled in there. This is splitting a little bit, which is annoying. It's probably this one that's not lined up properly. So pick that out. That up. Yeah, that should fit absolutely brilliantly in there. And what was I doing? Healthcare, yes, wasn't it? We got here medical clinic. Well, we don't have any medical coverage at the moment, so if we put that in, that will make everyone a little bit happier. This will get everything growing. Population's growing, everything's filling in quite nicely. What I would like to do now is, we've got some trash problem here. What I'd like to do is relocate this building. We got education there. We got an elementary school there. So what we're going to do is pull this one out to here, away from there. We got here, and we've now reached a small city. So what we got here: small business enthusiast, small business benefactor. We've got plenty of new buildings. There's just so much to build. Cable cars stop. I got hydroelectric power. We got yoga gardens. Yeah, everything's going there. We've got we've got trains, we've got monorails, we've got cable cars. Yep, everything's looking good. I'm not sure why I mean, do I have a zoning issue here? I'm not sure. I mean, that. What is this? Oh, it's the police station. Okay. Right. What I'm going to do is relocate you into here. And I think we're going to do the same with this park. I'm going to push you. Slope too steep. And what I'm doing is it's just clearing this area away to be able to elevate this road so that we can get improve the traffic flexibility here. Still got massive demand for residential, but seeing I've already upset this area here, so we'll just zone this in here. Just keep everything building up quite nicely. A little bit of area there. Got a trash problem over here, which could be a problem. I'm just going to let the game run a little bit faster. And I've just noticed the time, guys, so this is where I'm going to leave it. We'll just leave it with a view of the city. And a great big crater hole here. I will probably have to, it's still burning. Maybe I should have let the rain keep going. It might put the fire out. I mean, we've got this road here. We've got damaged roads, so actually what I will do just to finish this video off is got one-way toll booths, not toll booths. I want to get a road maintenance depot in as well. And we got this hill here. I'm just going to drop that in. What this will do is these guys will go out, repair the roads, and show you the quality of how things are going. So if I just show you, I mean, the road maintenance is pretty good, but of course my roads have been damaged over here, but we'll fix those eventually. But this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. As I say, in the next part, we're going to carry on working on building our city up, working on developing and growing the city. I mean, we're up to nearly 9,000. The city's growing. The cash is flowing in. Our university probably still needs more students, but I don't really want to expand the city until I've got most of this center hub built up with high density residential and commercial, and then what we will do then is grow the city from that perspective onwards. Right, so this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it interesting, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.